I've never been so happy to see a fat dragon. It was so good.
What fantasy stuff does badly is focusing on all the high level stuff. So focusing on like, we have this orb of chaos which will be put into the scepter and then the queen will become the red goddess.
Has Marlon Wayans in it.
It's a weird matchup, isn't it? Marlon Wayans and Jeremy Irons.
They're never in a scene together.
I mean, maybe they should have.
Maybe
Maybe that
they
was a
should
better
have.
film. I always play a gnome when I play stuff like this. I always play like a little guy. I don't know what that says about me psychologically.
Yeah, I'm too used to that in real life. Although, that being said, I do play a small character quite often. The directors actually had the cast play for a few hours before they started filming to get into it and understand the concept.
Right.
And I think that shows.
Last time we had a guest on, I wrote down this whole introduction and then I read it and it was really awkward and I realised I don't want to do that again. So this is my brother Michael.
Yay! Hello.
Hi, Michael.
And we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
The movie.
The movie, the lifestyle.
Well, so I mean, and you say the movie as well, the recent movie, yeah?
Well,
All of the two of the above.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
so we watched the new one, which I loved. And then we watched the old one as well.
Oh, you did watch the 2000 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Jeremy Irons?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw it as a kid. I don't think I've rewatched it in 20 years.
Yeah.
Recommend it.
Great.
No. I've watched some clips back here and there of it,
Yeah.
and it does look like Jeremy Irons just going off.
Yeah, I looked it up afterwards and he, in an interview, said, I had just bought a castle. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, I needed to pay for the reconstruction of this
the
castle in
castle, yeah.
Ireland, right? Yeah.
I heard people say, oh, the new one's a lot better than the old ones, at least.
Low bar.
And I thought, well, now I have to see what the old one was like.
Right.
And I watched the trailer and it hooked me in the worst possible way.
Yeah, there was like a morbid curiosity to it. I didn't plan to watch the whole thing. I just wanted to see what it was like and then couldn't tear myself away from the horror of it.
Well, it's from a really interesting era of fantasy filmmaking, right? Where there was that transition point to everything being CGI and everything being digital, but it looks like a PlayStation 2 game. Right, it doesn't look like... So Lord of the Rings is still doing a lot of practical effects. What, 1 year later than that, I think? First Lord of the Rings was 2001?
Yeah.
But there were a load of films at that sort of time which were trying to, especially after Lord of the Rings, cash in on that moment, right?
Yeah.
So bad special effects, bad dragon special effects and CGI dragons.
CGI everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one felt like they had taken some of the things that Lord of the Rings did well, like forced perspective. Because Michael, you were wondering if it was even a reference to Lord of the Rings because with tiny Bradley Cooper, which made me laugh so much.
Oh, yeah.
And when it's the hand, like it's obviously a child's hand that she's shaking.
Yeah, because you've got that scene in the Lord of the Rings with Gandalf and
Whichever
Bilbo.
one it is.
Bilbo. Where they do the thing with the big chair and the long table and like sit far away, and they had the exact same shot.
Right.
So I was like,
Yeah.
seems like it's too close to be anything but an homage.
Yeah, you say that, but then Free Guy, that Ryan Reynolds film, was literally The Truman Show, and I don't think it was an homage. I think they just remade The Truman Show.
Saying it's literally The Truman Show, it's not like as thinky as The Truman Show, is it?
No, but it's like some of the scenes are exactly the same. The shots are the same.
Some of the same beats. Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about The Truman Show.
No, I did actually see something about The Truman Show the other day, which is really
Maybe we
interesting.
are
Now we're talking
talking
about The Truman Show. That there's so this was someone positing the idea that he knows something's off from the very beginning of The Truman Show.
Oh.
Because, you know, the way that he gets out at the end is that he tunnels out through his garden to avoid the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
At the very beginning of the film, he's like bent over working on that patch of garden and she sees him there.
Oh.
And there's this moment which you can interpret everything subsequently to that he's sort of testing the boundaries.
Wow.
And he's sort of testing people to some extent. But he actually, in his head... It's very subtle. It's very subtle. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I saw the video and I was like, oh, this is going to be bullshit. And then...
Makes you think.
made me think.
So D&D.
So in this Truman Show episode of D&D, yeah.
Did you enjoy the film, Max? The new one?
Oh, I loved the new film.
Yeah.
I thought the new film was fantastic. We saw it at the cinema, and I don't think I even really had any expectations going into it at all. But yeah, it was fun, and it was everything that a lot of those fantasy films from that kind of era, those 2000s fantasy films, and a lot of what fantasy stuff does badly is focusing on all the high level stuff. So focusing on, like, we have this orb of chaos which will be put into the scepter, and then the queen will become the red goddess. You lose interest because it's way too high level, and everything that they do right in that one is it's all about interpersonal dynamics between the team.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what's fun.
That just reminds me of The Witcher. I watched maybe one episode and then they start saying, oh, we have to fight this king or whatever. It just completely switches me off.
The first season of that I found passable because it was sort of like, they're not doing a continuing narrative. They're just doing sort of one-off episodes. The second season of that, I turned off after one episode because it just leaned into, here's fantasy politics. Like the Trade Federation in Star Wars, right? It's like, we don't care. We don't care about the politics.
This is what the old one was also guilty of.
Right, okay.
It's a lot of Queen Thora Birch. And, like, what was the bit, Michael, where she's like, she's discovered what he's doing and then she just leaves him.
Yeah, she has this big speech of like, I hope you guys don't do the wrong thing, and then walks off. And Jeremy Irons is just there to give a speech and like G them all up to riot, basically.
So is he kind of the Palpatine of that and she's the Queen Amidala? Is that what's going on in that one? Or?
Yeah, he's like the advisor or like the head of the Mage Council.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
But he also starts off, the whole of the beginning is one of those swooping, obviously it's not drone because it's all CGI, really long shots into the dungeon. And then there's a dragon.
And then there's a dragon.
Yeah. And
so literal.
And that's the end of the film. Job done.
Yeah. We got them both in there.
Also has Marlon Wayans in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've seen the trailer with...
Which, is bold, tonally.
It's a weird matchup, isn't it? Marlon Wayans and Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
No.
They're never in a scene together.
I mean, maybe they should have. Maybe that was a bad film, right?
That was the chemistry.
Yeah.
That is something that the new one did really well.
Yeah.
It referenced things from the game, like the spells and the places, but anything that you actually needed to understand, it just kind of slipped in fairly smoothly. It didn't have a whole exposition section.
It did really well with the exposition. There was a lot of it, but it felt like it was built in, like we'd started watching something just before... What was it? Oh, Thursday Murder Club.
God.
And had to turn it off. I mean, obviously, because it was awful. But
I watched the first 10 minutes of that. Yeah, they do the same exposition twice.
You can tell who their audience is.
Yeah, because they do the exposition with, what the f*** is his name? They're in a pub having a conversation.
Oh, with David Tennant, yeah.
Yes, it's David Tennant, and he explains everything. He explains everything to this guy, and Alana's sitting there, she's like, what is happening? I don't understand. I don't understand anything he just said. And then they do the exposition again, and she's like, I still don't understand what's going on.
I did finish it.
Did you?
But it made me sad, because I loved the book, and so I thought I owe it to finish it. But yeah, they really made a mess of it. Even the plot at the end was changed, and I don't like it.
Yeah, sore about it.
I'm so sore.
It surprises me they wouldn't make it into a TV show, right? Because isn't it a series?
It should have been a series, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the stars were too big.
Should have had a different cast.
Well,
and some feeling.
Yeah, to go from that especially, and then watch D&D, the new one. The way that they did the exposition, it wasn't heavy-handed. It wasn't trying to hide that it was exposition, but it fit in. They didn't just have like, here's a new character and we're going to explain this thing to them so that you understand. It was, here are some people who are, there's two rich guys that are supposed to come to the vault. It makes sense for the plot that they're there, and they also need something explaining.
Yeah.
While something else was happening. It was all kind of hidden in it. But then there were occasions which it was really good to be watching it with someone who understands how D&D works, because there were a lot of game references, how gameplay works and the kind of things that come up in a game.
I mean, the first one is Jonathan, the name, which names are so hard when you're running a D&D game. One of the pieces of advice is have a list of names, because the players will ask like, oh, what's this person called? And to make it believable, you have to have a name ready to go. But often you'll say, a real name. So you'll be like, Mark? No, I can't say Mark. Mork? And it'll be like this kind of fantasy. So you've got Jonathan, definitely not Jonathan, Jonathan.
Yeah. It's almost Terry Pratchett. I mean, Mork is Terry Pratchett, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Accidental reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there was another bit as well where, like, when he's taking them to the orifice, and they're all like, orifice?
Yeah.
What was the
asking the questions to the...
No, I was going to say the thing that you were watching where they, like, it was like the Spoonerism where he says the thing wrong.
Oh, yeah. So Critical Role is a big D&D show. Yeah. And at one point, the DM, Matthew Mercer, said something like, shiver and queef instead. he was trying to say quiver and shift, and he says shiver and queef. And, well, shiver and quiff. And, the players run with queef.
Spectral entities known as quiverlings, or shiver and quiff. Okay.
deep in the lore now.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at why it's shiver and quiff to start with. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a very limited amount of Critical Role. I've watched the, oh my God, what's the cartoon that they've done of it recently?
Vox Machina.
Vox Machina, yeah. I guess it grows out of the difference between people having played the game and translating it to some form of media versus people just taking the title and going, it's a dungeon into a dragon, right, with CGI, where the Vox Machina stuff and the limited amount that I've actually seen of their campaigns, it's all interpersonal dynamics. It's all them bickering amongst themselves between things more than the actual like high level things that are going on, right?
Yeah, it does feel much more like a real game, or you can kind of see the players in the characters as well. And the directors actually had the cast play for a few hours before they started filming to get into it and understand the concept. Right. And I think that shows.
So it feels lived in, yeah.
Yeah, you have some sort of fourth wall breaks, you were saying, Hannah.
Yeah, there's like bits where they'll just be like, really? That's the thing that's happening? You're sure that that's the thing you want to go with? And they're like, yep, that's what we're doing. And then it fails. And they're like, okay, we'll do something else.
It reminds me of that bit in one of the Robin Hood films, Men in Tights.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, wait, I lost? Let me see the script. And he gets the script out, like looking through it. Like, I can't lose.
It's been a while since I saw this Dungeons & Dragons one. I feel like at the end, there is a sequence in the courtyard where they keep trying things.
Yes, they're all attacking her at once.
Yes, and then certain things work versus don't work.
They're basically not working because she's too strong.
Right.
And then she says something, and then they have the like hand... No, before they have the hand fight, she does the same spell where she freezes them all.
Oh, yes. But
it's earlier. Like a play on what they're doing. And then one of the bits that I laughed at so loud was when the druid shapeshifts back into what we saw her as at the very beginning of the owlbear. She's just like smacking her head into... There was just so much rage in that animation, and I loved it.
That's another thing with D&D, right? It's like mixtures of animals like that.
Yeah, the fantasy animals are wild. And all of those references and things were real. There's one point early on where they have these like crawling brain things that eat intellect, and it just completely ignores the players. And it's like, well, there's no intellect there. Like, that's a classic DM joke, but also those creatures are straight out of the game, like in the 80s. Yeah,
because even the gelatinous cubes you said is a classic.
Yeah, the big blob that they like run into and start dissolving, and the puma-looking things that displace a beast. They have so much to work with.
Well, because I mean they've got like 40 years plus. I mean, when does the original D&D come out? The first game.
I think it was like early 80s or late 70s.
Because it got bought by Hasbro, didn't it? It was something else first.
Yeah, so it's gone through a lot of different versions. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast, but then
it's gone through sort
like
of peaks and valleys in terms of popularity.
Yeah, there was like
right?
the original D&D, and then there was like advanced D&D, and it's been a whole political legal mess for decades.
What's Pathfinder? Or is it
Pathfinder is another system for like role-playing games. So there's loads of different role-playing games, and lots of them use dice, but not all of them. Yeah, D&D is the most famous, but Pathfinder's big.
I think it was a good move that they didn't try to do anything with dice. Like, they managed to get so much into it. All of these conversations about magic not being a solution for everything. What was the other one we were talking about where... Oh, yeah, because when the... Oh, okay, just an aside. I've never been so happy to see a fat dragon. It was so good. Well, I've never seen a fat dragon before, but it was amazing. And then when it's this super complicated thing that they're going to have to do to cross the bridge, and then he's just like, fucks it up. And then he's like, oh, actually, this thing that I had is actually exactly what I need in this situation. And at first I was a bit annoyed about the kind of like ease of it. But then you were saying that's what you would do in a game.
Yeah, like the DM wants to get the players to go through things as well. So if it's like, well, you need a bit of help here. Like, okay, this stick, it's actually, the stick you picked up randomly is actually a portal gun. Like, you can do it now.
Well, and so is Roger Jean Page's character an example of that as well? And sort of leading them through a particularly difficult area?
Yeah, I think to some extent. Like, I've seen some people say maybe it's like a DM PC, which is where the dungeon master puts their own character in to be like, to have fun, to be a strong person. But I think it's more, you guys really need some hand holding here. And then when he leaves again at the end, it's because it's like, okay, you're through that bit. I'm going to stop helping you.
Yeah. Well, because it's collaborative storytelling, right? It's not trying to put up walls. It's trying to put down pathways.
There's a lot of games that have gods in them as well. And it's like, oh, why can't I just pray to my god that they will fix it? Because they could in the game. And it's like, well, the gods have their own stuff going on, right? They're busy.
You said something when we were watching it about that character being like one of the NPCs that's just too good.
Yeah, you accidentally give them either an NPC that's too powerful or an item that's too powerful. And you're like, okay, that needs to come back again. Otherwise, it's impossible to give you any sort of challenge.
I have been thinking about that bit at the end where he's leaving, where it's just he's just walking in the straight line and he goes up to the rock and just walks over it. And that could be both, right? It could be an NPC just like not paying any attention to their surroundings, or the DM because it's like they want that line. They want you to keep going on this path that they've written, and then you just keep deviating from it and they have to make it up as you go along.
Yeah, that's... I didn't see that at all, but it could be. Deep reference.
Do you DM regularly at the moment then, Michael?
Semi-regularly. So I'm running a campaign at the moment.
Okay.
Lost Mine of Phandelver, which is like the starter campaign. But I've run a couple of campaigns before. I will say I've never finished a campaign, which is kind of a classic. I've started lots though, and I've run a lot of one-shots. So yeah, most of the time I run rather than play, but I like to do both. How
long is the longest one that you've run then, regardless of whether it's sort of like finished or not?
I think the furthest I got in one was like 9 sessions for a single story.
That's a lot.
I mean, they're decent length sessions as well, right?
Yeah, they're like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
The Wizards of the Coast and like Hasbro, they sell these long adventure books because the hardbacks, like that's where the money is. But I've heard advice from very experienced DMs to say like you should play the smaller like one-shot 2-session adventures. And you can kind of piece together a campaign out of those and just do little adventures. But if you have to read a huge like 100-page book and understand everything, it's really draining. And that's most of why I didn't run a full campaign. It's just too tiring.
I suppose there's too many like different directions that you can go off into at a certain point as well, right?
There's different approaches. There's like Sandbox, where you just have a world and you have some ideas of the characters. And it's kind of like, you know, like Red Dead Redemption or like completely open world game like that. And then you also have like very on the rails, like you will go here, you will go here. Like the original dungeon crawls were very modular and you could just piece rooms of dungeons together. And you know where the players are going because they're in a dungeon. So it's kind of like a huge continuum from the different styles.
Literally is in a corridor, effectively, that you're just going down like a pathway that you can't really get off of,
When I was a guest in one of the ones that you were playing, I had spoken with the DM before and we'd come up with my character and I had a ton of lore to expose basically once they rescued me from this dungeon. Except that I'm sat next to Michael, like it's being played online and I'm sat next to Michael and like every like 10 or 20 minutes you would just mute the mic and be like, when are you going to come into the game? I was like, when you get to that bit. I'm just sat waiting in the dungeon for everyone to find me.
Yeah, sometimes you need to give players a push as well. And like maybe you want to explore this area. And you can also swap things around, right? You've got like 2 corridors, and which one do they choose? And they go to the same room because you've only prepared one room.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's the heretic.
The heretic effect. Yeah.
I was wondering which characters would we be, and Michael and I had a little chat about this with only mild offensive results.
What, from the new Dungeons and Dragons
so who
film?
would we be?
Because I'm taking Jeremy Irons.
Oh, you want to be Jeremy Irons? I assumed Hugh Grant.
Oh,
I think, yeah. We haven't even spoken about Hugh Grant.
We haven't spoken.
If you get to be on the big hot air balloon as well.
Yeah. I'll go with Hugh Grant on a hot air balloon. Yeah.
Called it.
Actually, I did watch something. Sophia Lillis, the one that plays Doric.
Yeah.
We watched something with her in the other It Part 1.
Oh, I like her. I haven't seen her in
anything.
anything.
Yeah, I liked her. I mean, she was good in that. That film sucked, but it was the first time I'd seen her in anything. And what's she called? Justice Smith's very good as well.
Yeah, I love him.
So that's Simon.
Yes.
Who was it that you wanted to be, Michael?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Zank,
yeah, and I was like, no, Simon.
No.
Wait, which one? Oh,
the paladin guy. It's like, yeah, obviously I want to be the cool paladin. Come on.
Yeah, I always play a gnome when I play stuff like this. I always play like a little guy. Like that's.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me psychologically, but
I'm too used to that in real life. Yeah. Although that being said, I do play a small character quite often.
I'm looking at the cast now as well because we were watching Benidorm. You ever seen that show?
As in the going away
British
to the...
sitcom. Yeah. We were watching some of that the other day, and there was a guy from that in this film as well. Who plays Porb.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantasy names, isn't it? Wait,
Paul?
Porb Pyridost. Which one is he?
Well, in the old one,
Paul Baisley.
The like dwarf gnome character is the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean, the one that's opposite. What's his name? Mackenzie. He is in. Yeah, this guy, Paul Baisley.
He's in Pirates of the Caribbean as well.
No.
In one of them, not in the first one.
No, I was going to say he's in Such Brave Girls.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, really good in that. I mean, weirdly similar, similar character.
He was
Paul
one of the
Baisley.
rich guys in this. He was one of the
rich guys, yeah.
people bringing all the wealth to the vault.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Yeah, no, I'd never noticed him in anything before, and then he's in Benidorm in some of the early seasons, and he's quite funny.
Yeah, I was basically deciding between Holger and the Druid. I feel like I can relate to both of them in different ways. But who was it that you decided in the end?
Holger and
I think Holger.
Yeah. You're Holger, Mike.
No. I'm clearly Simon.
Yeah, but then wasn't there someone else we were saying?
Safina?
Safina. You said Safina, yeah, which was rude.
What, for you, Hannah?
Yeah, for me. Yeah, there were a few bits towards the end where I was like, wait, why is this happening? And you did have to explain to me.
That happens in campaigns as well.
Yeah.
You lose track of where you're going.
Mm.
I did like the overall structure of it because it's very... You have to go and find this thing. So you have to go and find these people. And you have to go and find it's a very easy way of building a structure. And that's classic in films as well.
Yeah. Gets away with it more in this because of the games.
Yeah, it would maybe be a bit annoying if it was not Dungeons and Dragons themed.
I think they balance it with the in-jokes and the fourth wall stuff. Like even when you were saying about how when there's a new person that they discover that they need to know about and it turns out everybody knows them, wasn't there a thing that happens?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I have actually heard of that person, yeah. There's a different role-playing game called Blades in the Dark where you can have this as a tool to use. So you're in a situation, but you can use this resource and say, oh, actually, I know someone about this and have a flashback to where you met them and they gave you some tool or they gave you some advice.
Oh, what? And you just role play through a flashback sequence, effectively?
Yeah, and then you have it in that moment. So it's a very nice tool to come up with some crazy imaginative things because you can always have had something prepared.
It's like a not exactly Family Guy, but like where there's a lot of
like
cutaways sort of involved that you can go to different places and play with different things.
Yeah.
There were bits where they said that, where they would be like, oh, no, you can do it. Remember the time you grabbed the helmet of the something and did this thing, and that other time you did this thing, and it's like, we don't need to know what those were.
It's believable.
It's all very improv, obviously, because you are improvising it as you go along. And when you watch like a particularly good improv show, the reactions you get towards the end are just piecing things together, right? It's just memory tricks of like, oh yeah, powder in the bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that back now, and that's going to do something in relation to these other 3 stories that we've been telling at the same time. Seinfeld used to do that really effectively. A plot, B plot, C plot, then wrap it all together in a neat little bow at the end.
Yeah.
It's good storytelling. I mean, actually, on that point as well, how seriously... So you've run a few campaigns, Michael. What's the tone of those like? Because as I say, like the old films, the Jeremy Irons era, it takes itself very seriously in spite of being ridiculous.
In part, it does, yeah.
But like this one pitches itself at about the right level for me, where it's like it does not take itself particularly seriously, while also respecting the sort of source material to some extent.
There can be some darker themes, but there's a lot of above table joking, and I think that's normal even in the most serious games because it's a group of friends just hanging out, and so you're going to have silly jokes, but there's still enough to make the story feel believable to the players playing it.
Yeah, there was a moment where I had to decide whether everyone was going to get through something, and I'd been really mean about it for ages, and then everyone had one last go to make me do it, and was it Claire was just like, please?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's a nat 20 on persuasion right there.
I mean, Nick Holt is one, isn't it?
Yeah, one step to Nick Holt with this one.
Without using Hugh Grant, there you go.
Without using Hugh Grant.
I feel like you're going to go through Chris Pine, although Regé-Jean Page, even
Yeah,
Paul
you could go to
Beasley.
Bridgerton. Paul Beasley.
Chris Pine. Surely he crosses over with a Star Trek actor. Surely. Simon Pegg, have they done anything? What has Nick Holt been in?
Lots of things.
That is a good question. Wait, Michelle Rodriguez must have been in something with...
You could go through a Fast and Furious because that's got a huge cast.
Yeah.
Oh, what, through Michelle? Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Has Charlize Theron been in anything with... Oh, I've got it. Charlize Theron was in Atomic Blonde with James McAvoy.
Okay, and then,
So then
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh, Kurt Russell. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we also watched
Escape from New York.
little bonus bit. Yeah, we watched Escape from New York.
Oh, yeah, what did you think of that? I remember watching it a couple of years ago, and it didn't make a huge impression on me. I enjoyed it, but it didn't stick in my head for some reason.
It's the kind of movie that I like to watch with Michael because we can just rip it to pieces.
Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's very of its time.
It's from like a movie world kind of era,
Yeah.
right? Where everything is in a completely different universe.
Completely different. Except scarily close to what the US is like now.
Yeah, it's...
In the opening, the way that they're describing it. And also, it was just funny because there are bits like he's got this weird leather jacket on, and then there's a bit where he's walking down the corridor before he's been sent off to New York, where he just has his jacket off for no reason and is putting it back on. And we were like, oh, it's obviously to get the guns out. Like, that's why he's taking his jacket off. But then the next scene, he's getting a medical, so he takes his jacket off. It's like, why?
It's the eternal balance between looking super cool with the leather jacket on and showing off the arms.
How ripped
It's
you
just
are.
like,
Yeah.
Wait,
which way are you being pulled in them?
is it a leather jacket or is it like a duster? Like a full length?
It's
No,
it's not
it's
like
a
it's
leather
not long.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to
okay.
see those tight trousers.
Oh, right.
The snakeskin trousers.
Of course, this is way before The Matrix, yeah.
Because his name is Snake
Plissken.
Plissken, which is the worst character name of ever. One thing I was impressed by, I have to say, and this is John Carpenter all over, is the lighting. The lighting was beautiful through the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at some images from it. It's that super high contrast lighting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
everything is
intentional and really
sharp
picking out the
shadows.
bits that you need to see, like the curve of his bicep or someone else's boobs.
All
That's where
the
all the lighting was going.
essential filmmaking techniques.
I was really sad about the fact that they're not doing another Dungeons and Dragons because it looked...
Oh, yeah, it didn't make enough money, did it?
Except we looked it up afterwards and it did make a profit.
Yeah.
It just obviously didn't make as much as they wanted. But then you found something...
Yeah, it was just an interview. One of the directors, I can't remember which one, said if we do another one, we'd have to do more with less, like budget-wise, because it was very special effects heavy.
Yeah.
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 And big cast.
Well, and you do wonder with this kind of creative team behind it whether they would actually do better even still with a smaller budget potentially.
Yeah,
because
probably.
they would focus more on that sort of relationship stuff, which is the core of it. I'm just like, this is just Wikipedia numbers, but budget of 150 million, box office of 200. I mean, that's barely break even.
Yeah,
right, with marketing on top.
Yeah. But it wasn't a flop.
It's not classed as a flop. I mean, yeah, box office disappointment. There you
Yeah.
go. Is the description of it. Whereas the the 2000 film, I think, was described as a critical and commercial failure. So, starker language when it comes to that.
I guess from Hasbro's perspective, if they get more people playing the game, then it's still a win.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, from their perspective, they have people like Critical Role out there doing the Lord's work for them for free. Like, they don't have to spend $150 million for Critical Role to go and make another TV show, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess it's a different audience.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's bringing it to a wider audience for sure. They're covering their bases.
How do you end a D&D session?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Usually I say, sorry guys, I'm getting really tired. Let's end it there.
What a great ending.
That's how we end our episodes as well.
Like and subscribe. I'm tired. Bye.
I schedule for 3 hours and I get to 2 and I'm just wiped.
That's a lot of mental engagement, 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe I should learn and just schedule for 2 hours instead.
Yeah.
And then I could end with something cool.
Like what?
Like and subscribe.
There you go.